Podcast. If you're ready to grow, then let's go. This is the Lincoln County Podcast. Hey, yo, Matt, let's start the show.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to all the sponsors of the Lincoln County Podcast. Hozak Plumbing, Simply Worth, Medical Weight Loss, Town and Country Insurance, The Guild, and Boyer Academy. Thank you guys for your sponsorship, and thank you for making the Lincoln County Podcast possible. Just want to say thank you to everyone at Boyer Academy. Without the success of Boyer Academy and all the families there, I wouldn't have met all these wonderful people in and around Lincoln County that have came on the Lincoln County Podcast. So without you guys, none of this would really be possible. Having this has been a dream come true to sit down and talk to so many business owners and share my experiences at Boyer Academy, their experiences and successes with their business with everyone in and around our local area. Hey guys, thank you again for checking out the Lincoln County Podcast. Make sure to check out our sponsors because without them, there would be no Lincoln County Podcast. They mean everything to us. You guys mean everything to us. And again, I get the privilege of bringing to you another local business and something great that's going on in Lincoln County. So I would love it if you guys would take a chance at the end of this when they tell you where they're from to check them out, give them a call, and show them some love too. So again, thank you guys. I'm going to turn it over now to my guests to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about them, and we're going to go from there. How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. My name's Kyle Hinkie. I started the window cleaning business about a year ago. So we clean windows. And yeah, what's your name?
My name is Myles Freeman. Yeah, I joined his window cleaning business in like March is when I joined, and yeah, that's what we've been doing since.
So what kind of sparked the wanting to start it? You know, and let's, for the record, how old are you?
I'm 17, so I'm a senior in high school right now.
So were you 17 when you started it, or still 16?
I was 16 when
16?
I started it.
Okay,
yeah.
and you are?
I'm 18.
18, okay.
And I was 18 when I joined it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I kind of sparked the idea for it because I've always wanted to own my own business. I always wanted that like flexible schedule and everything.
Yeah.
But then I saw videos on TikTok of this Canadian dude that was washing windows. He was going door to door selling window cleaning. And it just looked really interesting to me. I didn't know of any competition around Troy.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be a good idea. Low skill entry. So like I can work on my business skills and selling skills without worrying about like the skill of washing windows, or if it was something else more difficult.
Well, and it's a great platform to, you know, to move on to something else, build this up, however you end up want to do it. Like you said, it's I hate to say low-skilled entry. I know that's what they call it, but
right, yeah.
That's what it is.
Entry level.
It still takes a lot of balls to go out and start your own anything.
Right.
And I don't know. I used to detail cars. I've owned businesses. My job when I was a student in martial arts school is to clean the windows. Like, it's not as easy as everyone thinks to actually clean them, get all the streaks out, clean all the metal, especially in the commercial suites, because some things get so dirty. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. Like I've always joked about it'd be nice if we could, because there's no water outlets on the plaza, just pull the power washer out, just rinse it down, put some type of coating like a Rain-X on it, be like, oh, there you go, you're done. Because it's not that simple. But it is, like you said, it's a great place for you to start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's simple, not easy. So
yes,
the more
that makes
work
sense.
you put into it, the more you get.
Well, and there's so many different things. And creating content with it's great too, because there's a guy that does the windows at First Form, and I think he's in Arte, but he shoots all his videos and he holds his camera in his mouth. And he's doing it, and I'm always like, damn, that is a streak free. And it may be just like the simplest mirror in a bathroom, but it's always like, damn, that's very impressive because he's doing it blind because he's filming with this camera on his face. I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's insane. So what have you kind of found with doing that, or what made you kind of want to come in with him?
So, you know, he told me about it, but it was during football season when he started it, and of course I was playing football. I was like, I can't do it right now. And then actually I ended up getting hurt at the end of football season, and so I would have ran track instead of doing the windows, but because I was hurt, I was like, I got to have something to fill my time, and I always liked the window cleaning idea. Yeah. So I asked him if I could join, and he was like, sure, and we just started it up.
That's awesome. That's cool, and things are going good. You guys, I mean, you guys do a great job. That, like I told you before you came on, one of the reasons I offered you guys, hey, come on, let's talk about it, was how detailed you guys were with it. I watch a lot of people. I have always lived by a motto, and I don't know where I heard this or where I seen it, but no matter what you're doing, now they say it's like, do everything with intent, or, the one thing you do is everything you do. But like I would traded someone some martial art lessons for a piece of crap little topaz.
Okay.
But I would detail it. I painted the wheels, I wash it, I'd wax it. People are like, it's a $400, and it was spotless on the inside, even inside the glove box was armor. I kept everything clean because it was mine and I took care of it. So I always was very detailed about stuff. Whether it was a piece of crap car I traded somebody for. I did that once with a Cavalier, because I always had a nice vehicle I didn't like to drive, like keep the miles off of.
Right.
And I always wanted to keep them clean and be detailed about it. I'd be out there cleaning, waxing, wiping every little thing. Friends of mine just like wipe it down and go. Mm-hmm. I like that when I watch you guys clean windows. You took your time. You guys were detailed. You could tell you take pride in it. So that was why I was like watching you guys. One day I'm like, you know what? That's really cool that you guys do that. Let's talk more about it. So is it something that you guys have like always found yourselves like be detailed? And what I want, where I'm going at is like, were your rooms always perfect? Did you always make sure everything was super spotless? Do you or is it just something with work? Like what do you think about that?
I've always been kind of organized. Obviously, well, my room, I can't say it's always clean in my room, but I do like to have things organized, especially the more meaningful something is, the more effort and intentional I'll be. And so window cleaning is really important to me, even though it's not the biggest thing for a business. Obviously there's other things that a business could do, but I want to make the most impact that I can.
It's a big thing for a business. I think the problem is people don't think it's a big thing. I think it's huge.
Right.
I think it's absolutely huge. I bet I might just be a dick on this, but when I walk up to a business, even in my own plaza, there's one place that does not clean their windows. Mm-hmm. And you could tell the difference. But if I walk up to a business, well, example, I went toward private schools recently with my kids. And the one I went to, there was some stuff on the floor. Walls needed a fresh coat of paint. And I was kind of on the... It's like, I don't know, I'm thinking. And when we stepped out back and the units out back, the trailers, modulars, whatever they call them, no paint on the door frames, falling off, the decking wasn't painted. Like it was in dire need of it.
Right.
I was like, I'm not interested because it's that first impression and it bothers me. When people walk up to my school, we have kids in there all the time. I hate it when I come through, and I should come through the front door more, but I hate it when the front door glass is smudged. Like, it's a big deal, and I think people underestimate it because of how much stuff is online. But what you guys do is a very big deal, because when people walk up, that front storefront speaks a lot.
That is true, yeah.
It really is. Don't undervalue that of it's not a big... It really is, and I think more business owners should take it seriously. The cleanliness of the place, but the first thing people see. So with paint jobs, I constantly tell agents that front door needs to be perfect, because the homeowner is standing there with the agent looking at buying the house. They're staring at that front door. Whenever I go to look at a house for an agent, they're like, hey, we're thinking of putting it on the market, and the front door is dirty. It just kind of, it baffles me because it's that first impression.
Right, yeah.
So don't undervalue yourself there. But do you feel you take pride in it?
Yes, for sure. That we're very intentional about like doing a great job and making sure that we leave the right impression so that people want to use us again or come back for us.
For sure.
What do you think when you walk up at something's like really bad? They're really filthy.
Well, we kind of get excited, honestly, because we want to make a big difference. So a lot, actually, when we go to really dirty houses, a lot of the times we find ourselves saying, like, man, I can't wait to see the end of this because we're going to make these windows look 10 times better.
And never lose that. That is something that has always been a big thing for me with the painting business, was that final look. Like, if we paint all the soffits and fascias on a house, I will build into the pricing to have the entire house power washed, so that when we paint it, it looks even better, because people are like, oh man, that really made a difference. It's like, no, your house was gray, it's now white because we power washed it too. Like, but I've always found that too. That motivated me. It was never a got to get the next sale, got to make that money, got to get the next sale, got to make that money. It was, oh, this is going to look so good. And then that pride, that's what kind of sold me on being a painter when I got into it, was that stepping back at the end of the day, being like, man, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I'm even still a sucker for it. If somebody picks some like really cool colors, Like, I almost don't bid the job as high as I should because I really, really, really want to see how it's going to look when it's done. I'm still bad about that. I am really bad about that. We just did this huge place up in Hannibal, and I bid it correctly, but I was just like dying to get it done. The guys were like, man, we're going fast. I was like, I'm not. You're fine. I just really am excited to see what this is going to look like.
That's cool.
So don't ever lose that, because I could tell that by watching you guys. You took pride in what you did, and that's going to make such a big difference for you guys as you move forward and you grow it, because that's going to, other people are going to see that. I'm not the only one that's going to see that pride you take in it.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I think we've seen the benefits of that through other people too. Like,
really?
Other people see how well we do and they refer us to somebody else or something like that.
Well, and you guys will probably find window cleaning, painting, window cleaning are two things. It's so referral based.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
you can make all the creative TikToks, you can put up the stuff that's going to get the views, which you guys obviously will want to do because it gets your name out there. But the biggest, as you grow, the biggest place you're gonna get it to, like, oh man, you gotta call these guys, they did great work. Mm-hmm. That is just key for what you guys are doing. For us painting, like, and you'll find as you bid jobs, like, you'll have people find your website or find Facebook and reach out, but it'll be a different value of a customer, whereas when someone's like, oh hey, you painted or you cleaned the windows at Lisa's house, they look great, when can you do mine? It's not, you're not pitching them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What are some things you guys have come across now as you're getting out there and doing it more?
What do you mean? So like some problems?
No, just in general, just like customers referring you, maybe, changing up your soap or whatever, just little things you've come across. I wouldn't even really say a problem, but it could be something you've learned.
Something that's really cool that we've seen is like when we clean someone's house and we do a good job and they have a way to help us, usually they do it. So they'll come out and say, yeah, we'll post you on our Facebook, the neighborhood Facebook page. Or we had somebody, Christine Schumacher,
Mm-hmm.
she's a graphic designer and she designed our business cards.
Oh, nice.
And she ordered a ton for us. We still aren't even halfway through it. So that was huge for us. And then also like Ashley, like we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
She helped us set up the business. So Nova Clean, I'm pretty sure is her business.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've been helped a lot by the community.
For sure.
It helps a lot when we go in and say we're a small business from Troy. You could tell everybody brightens a little bit and is more interested for sure.
Well, and I try to explain that to people. I had this talk with someone the other day, but I try to explain it to people. It's just different in Lincoln County. When I talk to guys at martial arts schools, other places, they don't have that type of camaraderie with the other businesses that we do out here, to where everybody's like wanting to help everyone else succeed.
Yeah.
If you jump on some of the We Love Troy page / We Think Troy Sucks page, I don't dislike it, but sometimes the hate that people put forth on some of the social media platforms is rough. Mm-hmm. And that's not really how people feel. There have been so many big businesses that have used me over the years for painting that didn't have to, but because I was doing things locally, they chose to use me.
Right.
Yeah. And you guys will find that a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys, next time you guys do my windows too, I've got a 4-foot ladder for you guys. I keep forgetting. We've got a ton of them at the shop. And I watch you use your pole to hang stuff back up. I've got a ladder for you.
Okay, perfect.
We've got, I was looking at it, we cleaned out a couple of the vans. I've got ladders all down one of the walls. I was like, oh, I got 6 4-footers there. I was like, cool, we'll grab one.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Scott Lutz with Town & Country Insurance. We specialize in personal lines and business insurance. We're at 502 East Cherry Street here in Troy, Missouri. You can also find us online at TCI4U.com. We would love to earn your business.
What are some things that you're kind of learning as you go, like tricks of the trade, or, because you do residential and commercial, right?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I would say, one thing we've learned is if it's super hot outside, when we soap the windows, it'll like just burn up and leave streaks all over the windows. So we got to squeegee it right after. So I'll go before him, soap it real quick, and then he'll squeegee it like within seconds after me putting it up there. And
Yeah, it helps a lot. We were having problems with that for a little bit.
Yeah, we were leaving a lot of streaks on this one person's house, but we figured it out.
Yeah.
Fixed it.
That we have that trouble with paint too. The guys literally were painting a door yesterday, a black door, and they're painting it black again. It was smoking because it was getting so hot that the roller was starting to stay. And it's not that hot out. It just was direct sun. Everything was hitting it right. They're like, as I walked up, I'm like, why did you guys sand that door already? They're like, dude. Because that will. So that's interesting. You had trouble like getting the screens, things like that, or
Yeah, for some houses.
yeah.
Sometimes the screen's just a little too big for the window, and then you either gotta
Like a millimeter. It's like just barely.
exactly, and you gotta shove it in there, making sure not to bend it and everything. You gotta be careful for sure.
Yeah. Hey, one fun side note on that: Heckler Hardware repairs them. If you ever mess one up, they do them in house. You can take them up there and get them redone.
Oh, nice.
That's why I was asking about the screens, because we have to pull them every once in a while to paint windows if they're wood windows on the outside, and just doesn't seem to be a simple way. Or on the old houses, we have to pull the glass storm windows off, and those are always nerve-wracking. I try my tail off to get the homeowners to do it. I'm like, yeah, you guys get those taken down, try my best, but 99% of the time they're waiting for us to pull them, because you never know how rotted they are. We had a couple up at the Garth Mansion we did that had some big, you could put your knuckles in them, holes in the wood, but you couldn't tell because it had paint over it from the handyman or something. It wasn't until we pulled it off, it scraped it. It's like, whoa, that's why that one was lighter. There's no wood left.
But they wouldn't blame you for that.
No, they normally don't, especially if you're smart. Like if you guys, walk up something, you see damage, note it, show the customer.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you guys, as long as you're honest and straight with people, they're great. It's when you try to hide it or cover it up, I'll have a crew have a little issue on a job site. They'll try to like put it aside or whatnot instead of just going to the customer and being like, hey, I messed that up.
Yeah.
That's when there becomes a breakdown of confidence that becomes more of an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
So how long was it that you kind of thought about doing this before you kind of acted on it? Like what sparked it?
If you're talking about before, like for the first time I considered window cleaning to the first time I went out and asked people?
Both. Like how long did you want to be in business? Like all that. Yeah.
I've wanted to be in business for years. My brother and I have both been like that. So he's working on his own business right now and everything. Growing up, we always wanted to do little things to earn cash. So for years, I wanted to create a business. But for window cleaning, I considered it, and then less than a week later, I was going out asking people if they wanted their windows cleaned. And by that time, I didn't have the equipment yet. I just wanted to make sure there was an interest before I went out and bought the supplies.
Have you always found yourself like interested in entrepreneurial stuff, or was this kind of a, let's do this?
So actually, my plan for the longest time is I was going to be an engineer. That's my plan forever. But then I kind of got bored of doing the math. It was very annoying to do. And business, I've always liked business. It was just never my first option. But the window cleaning seemed like a really good idea. And it kind of got me thinking more in the business sense. And I was like, So I just got into it around, I would say, kind of after I got hurt. So like January of this year is when I started thinking about businesses more.
Yeah. So are you guys planning like maybe after college to, obviously are you going to go to college and and then kind of pursue it more, kind of keep it, instead of a 9 to 5, keep it a small thing for a while?
Yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
We're not 100% sure how it's going to work out, but hopefully we should have like a base of customers that are on a 6-month basis repeating, and then businesses that are repeating. And so somebody will be able to clean it, whether it's Myles or a new high schooler.
It's got to be pretty flexible to schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's something that we're very lucky and grateful for.
Yeah.
Because we have a super flexible schedule, and we can always fit it in.
Well, it's not like it makes noise or anything to where someone's like, oh, don't come after 5 or don't come early, or if you got businesses, you just go when you can go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you guys can do that with it. Do you guys ever like read books on business or study other like big entrepreneurs, big names? Do you have any ones that are like the big ones that are your favorites?
Yeah. Alex Hormozi, love that guy. He knows his stuff for sure. It's a lot of just creators that pop up on my feed, honestly. I don't know them by name.
Yeah, for sure.
Alex just did. I've just been working my way through what podcast he did with it's called the Modern Wisdom Podcast.
Okay.
With Chris Williamson. He's done a couple with him where Chris takes Alex's social media post and will restate it to him and ask him to go more in depth on it. And man, it's golden. It's golden. I think he's got 3 episodes now. I think I made it through 2. They're all several hours. But if you like Hormozy, that's a great one. That dude's just like insane amounts of like in-depth content.
Yeah.
He's a really good one. There's a lot of them. I find myself like I'm constantly buying books. I just bought, I can't think of the title. I bought one the other night. Andy Frischella's wife posted it, and I was like, oh, because if someone really smart like that posts a book,
Yeah.
I just buy it and add it to the collection to read when I get time.
Yeah.
But I'm always buying books and doing different things and watching different entrepreneurs. And Ed Bullion, who has it's a channel called VinWiki on YouTube. You guys ever heard that? It's all cars. They just talk about cars. He created a software program where it's like a dashboard for exotics, if I understand it right, where you can go in, you can be like, oh, I saw this purple Lamborghini, ... No, like you can walk up. I guess you could see the VIN number pretty easily. And it tracks and it creates this like storyline for exotic cars, which apparently helps the resale value. If you can provide, the more documentation you have on the history of the car, where it's been, who owned it, who drove it.
Right.
Land is, I had a guest on, Travis Owen, that was talking about land is like that too. If you can document like, oh, hey, in 1985, they were catching elk or whatever, or deer with certain amount, if you can show proof of things, it raises the value for different things. But he created that, but he talks about how during college he was working and saved up a bunch of money and bought a Lamborghini and then would rent it out on the weekends. And that's how he started his first exotic car rental business and then went into exotic car sales and all this stuff. And it's really neat to see how that entrepreneurial endeavor at that age, at that college age. So it's something that's very common with people at the college age.
Yeah.
Did either of you ever do anything entrepreneurial before the window cleaning? You said you always like to do things for cash. Did you ever mow lawns, whatever?
Yeah, I would try to mow lawns and stuff. But I also, it was really the summer before my junior year.
Yeah.
I really got into business like a lot more than before. And I tried doing like software as a service, where I would go out and sell to businesses and then they would pay a monthly fee to somebody else that would manage their business online, kind of their online presence. And then also I tried starting a TikTok that was called Better Every Day. It was supposed to be like uplifting stuff.
Yeah.
But I got banned for stealing content, so that's not the right way to go about it. Yeah. And then so we tried day trading because that would be a way to make money on your own, not working for somebody else.
Yeah.
That did work out?
We never did real money, so we can say we never lost real money. I was always profitable.
Accounts. Yeah, I've always been profitable too, but we talked to a investment banker and they were like, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay.
It works if you're perfect and the odds are in your favor if you're perfect, but it's so difficult to be perfect over a long period of time.
Well, and isn't it too, like the amount of money you have to be able to sink into it? Like for people that say, oh, I made 10 million, they probably put 5 into it.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a real money game there too.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's a way to get funded accounts where you use somebody else's money and then trade with it, but you have to risk your money to even get that.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough to get that money.
That's what it always seemed to me. I've always steered clear of that industry. I've had so many people over years as the businesses would grow, they'd be like, oh, hey, man, if you got some extra cash. I'm like, no, I'll fund stuff or do different things. I'm not. Always steered clear of that because it seemed to be such high risk, high reward that just stressed me out. But I have known, I've had clients I painted for that, it had a business or had come into an inheritance and they knew enough about that type of thing to invest and make, they weren't buying Lamborghinis, but they were working from home doing that. Right. That was their job. The whole time we were there painting, they're back there on their computer. Yeah. And that's what they said they did. They, had gotten into being a trader. So that's really cool. I always wonder that, when you...
I'm Stu. I'm the founder and president of the Guild Men's Fellowship. As a first responder, I know firsthand what it's like to pour into your community and lose sight of personal aspirations. and that's why I founded the Guild. The Guild is a nonprofit that offers personal development programs to first responders and veterans since 2019. We offer our services completely free of charge. Peer support, critical incident stress debriefing, our flagship program, Stations Immersion Camp, and one-on-one coaching is accessible by people who apply and are approved through our website. Like all nonprofits, we need people and funding. And one of the ways that we've come up with to solve the funding issue is to take our curriculum and put it into modules that are teachable to your organization or agency. In this way, we can further your mission by putting your investment to work for people who have served. If you're interested in finding more information or applying for our services, or if you're interested in helping by booking us for trainings, keynotes, or consulting, visit our website, guildfellowship.com.
I've always noticed with a lot of the ones that are like crazy successful, there's always been that entrepreneurial bug. Even the ones that aren't even that crazy successful, like so many people have had it. You know, my father had it, but never pursued any of it. So he always kind of pushed me in that direction. And I always had that bug. I started mowing lawns at 10, like doing something. I always was doing something, buying bikes and fixing them and selling them, selling gum at school, whatever it was. I would always do something. And I just liked making money that way. Even when I had a full-time job, I always had what is now called a side hustle. I always did stuff in the evenings or on the weekends. And so I'm curious, that's why I was curious with you guys being so young, if, you know, where you're at. But when you watch a lot of that content, one of the things you guys will notice is they always go back and talk about like where they began and how they began. They started with this, like, oh, I did this one thing and it created it. Like, you guys are at the beginning of your story. And that's really, really cool to see that you're at that starting phase to where you've tried a couple things. Now this is working. So, you know, I'm curious as you guys get out of college, you know, like, is it going to be a chain of window cleaning trucks, or is it going to be, you know, hey, this was great, we made some money, now we found out about this, or we realize that, because as you grow, your brain, you learn more, your brain changes, things about you change to where you're going to, you might change your ideas. Yeah. You might shift on what you want. People are going to be like, oh, really? You guys gave up on that? Well, no, we realized this was a great stepping stool. Like, think of it like rungs on the ladder. Yeah. Even when you look at the big guys out there that do stuff, your Hermosis, Frishellas, you know, your different ones, like there's steps to where they got to with what they're doing. Yeah. Whether they scaled this one and now they're, you know, owners of 10 businesses because they had a bunch of money, whatever it is. So what do you, like, if in a perfect world, what is something else you could be like, yeah, we could do that. That'd be cool. Like, what's things? Because I know you've toyed. I can tell by the way you guys are already smiling. Like, there's ideas there.
Yeah, for sure.
What are those ideas?
Yeah. Real estate.
Yeah, real estate would be great to get into, but we don't have the capital right now.
Yeah, exactly.
To even get started.
Well, but you guys are awfully young to get into that too. Like, totally doable. But again, like you said, the capital, trying to probably get a loan at your age to get your first property would be hard. Like, but what do you mean by real estate? Like, what are your thoughts with real estate? Because there's a lot there.
Yeah, I'm all about the passive income. So I'd love, like, the goal with the window cleaning would be, we already have these customers. Now we have somebody else that cleans them. They make good money from it, and we just make a little off the top, and we just keep taking that income in. And so with real estate, we'd hopefully be able to do kind of the same thing, where we'd have apartments or Airbnbs or something like that, and somebody else cleans it, somebody else does the upkeep, and we're just making a little off the top.
Yeah.
Where
you own them and do that. Keep in mind that passive income word is a lot of BS, because there's always going to be a lot of headaches. Because, like, I own the painting company. I don't paint the houses, but I still am the one that gets the call when there's a problem. I'm still the one that deals with the stress. You know, the crew's just there chilling, painting. I'm going back when things aren't done right, because there's always going to be something there. But that's really cool. It's your thoughts are there. I have a friend of mine who has tons of properties. She's actually been in this room a bunch. And she loves it. She said it's buying and selling and moving the real estate's addicting.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, and there's so much great content. Like, she even does classes. She has an online university where she teaches everybody how to do it. That's great. I'll double check it and send it to you guys to check it out. But she's got some great stuff. I spent a day with her one time learning and realized I didn't really want to mess with it. Not yet. It's not really where I wanted to go in the way that she's done it, because I don't want to be a landlord. Like, I would like to buy in and then have it managed by somebody maybe.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be different. I'd have to get into it more, but I realized that where I was, the painting company at the time, the martial arts school and stuff, that was not the headache I wanted to add to it.
Yeah.
Because you get squatters, you get people move in, and
Yep.
a friend of mine's had a place going 4 months now. He's not even done finishing. He's doing the building in phases. He's not even done. He already had his first squatter. We're actually, I think my guys might go out tomorrow to touch it up because the unit was bad. The unit was destroyed, and the guy's only been in it for, I guess he'd probably been there 3 months, but because I think he only paid 1 month and then quit paying.
Wow.
And they just got him removed, but we tried to run out the other day and touch it up, and he was like, "It's gross. There's blood. You don't want to go."
Yeah.
It was bad.
That's probably one of the quicker, like, evacuations or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he got him out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that because, getting them out when they decide to squat's hard. I've had a few friends that tried to get into that. They kind of hit that next stage in life where they're making some more money and they want to move up, bought their next stage house. They're like, well, we're going to rent the old one out, and then it was just a nightmare.
Disaster, yeah.
Yeah, and that can happen quick. So other than real estates or anything you guys kind of looked at, I know that's a big one right now.
Investment, like, we know Katie Lamar. Do you know her? She's
Who?
Edward Jones, kind of.
She's a
What was her
franchisee of an Edwards.
Yeah, yeah. And so she owns it.
What was her name?
Katie Lamar.
Yeah, I know her.
Okay, yeah. So we just cleaned her house. She's my family's financial advisor, and I think that's really interesting what she's doing.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
very cool.
It takes a lot of work and dedication to get to the point where you know all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
and you're confident. So that would be the only thing holding me back, is just, if I do that, will I have time to try out other things? Because I just love trying out things.
Yeah, well, and you're going to have to find, like, what is you're all in. What's your passion? What is the one? Because as you become successful in entrepreneurship, you're going to find you can make money a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, you could even go to a place where you're just commission sales because you're comfortable talking to people and make killer. But is that going to be your passion? Is that what's really going to get you out of bed every day?
Right.
You know, I've talked to several friends that started making millions a year, and they're like, once you buy a couple cars and you sell them, you're like, man, that's boring. Like, they're like, it's not as cool. You set your sights on, like, maybe a really cool watch. You get the watch, and then you're like, like, the goal is that it has to be a passion. There has to be something above that gets you out of bed, whether it's the challenge of closing the deal, whether it's so for me, it's martial arts. It's going in there, rocking it out on the mats and seeing everybody get excited and stuff. That's what brings me up there every day, not the business of making the money or signing the people up. It's going up there and doing it. Painting doesn't have that for me. There's no passion there. That was just something I was good at. I enjoyed painting houses, but actually running the painting business doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of learn that as you go too. You'll be like, you know what, this might not be it, but this here, ooh, that fires me up.
Yeah.
Because you'll learn. If you're good at entrepreneurship, you can do about anything. You can figure it out. Like, everything you've listed is all different.
Yeah.
But you can figure it out.
Right.
You can learn more from it to tackle anything. I've had people ask, what would you do? I'm like, name it. I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be good at it. I'd probably fall on my face a little bit, but for most of your blue collar, detail shop, whatever, mowing, whatever the business is, I could pretty well figure it out and do well. Because I've tossed ideas. I've had, and you'll notice as you grow too and learn more, like, opportunities come to you, learning which ones to pick, which ones to take.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's what are you going to be going to school for?
Business marketing, hopefully, at Mizzou.
Cool.
So my main goal would be to own multiple businesses when I grow up, and then the backup plan there is marketing, sales. So I really like talking to people, and I wouldn't mind a commission-based sales job, just like you said, if the business doesn't work out. But you said it's important to have passion for what you do, and I'm really passionate about having a business, I think, because it's like a baby. Like, I created this thing, and it's good because I made it that way. So it's almost that finished job feeling. Yeah. Again, but with the business overall.
Yeah. Yourself?
I go for business marketing too already at St. Charles Community College, and I got similar goal to him, just own multiple businesses when I'm older. And if I can't own multiple businesses, either sales or honestly like the military would be my backup.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys are definitely in the right direction with business, with owning your own business, having sale, and even if you were to get into a good paying commission sales job, to use that to fund your stuff.
Right.
If you were in a position to where you didn't have the assets or the ability to borrow, you can always start there. I've known a lot of people have done that, made a really good income, and that was their way of building out what business they wanted, or even deciding what business they wanted. If you realize that, I like being in business, but this isn't it, maybe that would be it, or I could do this. So, you guys have so many amazing assets with YouTube and just the content that's out there. The stuff that these billionaire people like a Hermosi are putting out on a daily, hourly basis. Have you seen his breakdown on what he went last year, what he did in content?
I don't think so, no.
I forgot what it was. I had the number. I was spitting the number out pretty good there for a little bit. It was, I think they spent $3 million. I want to say it was like 12 posts a day. That wasn't, I think that was on each platform. It was an insane amount of content, and how he's able to show how doing that, investing this much money, this many hours to this kind of a content role has then boosted him.
Right. Yeah.
Damn, I wish I could remember. If I can remember where I found that, because it made me go, okay, it's possible to put out more content if you structure it right.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you're doing too. And you got to remember that with content too. Like, not every business has to have all that. There's a lot of billion-dollar businesses or million-dollar businesses that don't have to have it. Like,
right.
I put a lot of stuff on my page and the school page to keep us on top of mind and to tell a story. So if a potential customer is like, oh, I'm looking for a dojo, what does this one offer? They can be like, oh, the kids are laughing. Oh, they do leadership. Oh, they can they can walk down through it and really be told a story of what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't really have to do that. I had a page the other day. I got invited to like a page. All their business pages is paid ads, paid. There is no story told, and I guarantee they have plenty of students. Like, you don't have to do it. You don't need to be viral unless you're trying to do something all over the U.S. Like, I've had videos do 20,000 views. It was all over the world. It's like, well, what good did that do me? It was for painting houses. I'm not driving more than an hour, so what the heck did it do? Well, it didn't, because you can't guarantee they're in your area. Mm-hmm. But it is a great way for, like, you guys at your age to make some killer content to get your name out there.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
that's definitely something we should improve, and we'd like to improve in the future, is our online presence.
Yeah, just the creativity behind it, and your guys' age and demographic, seeing it and playing off the fact of your age.
Yeah,
was it College Hunks Moving or something? Wasn't that have you ever heard of that? It's a moving company that was like college guys doing it in the summer or something.
Gotcha.
I'll have to see. You guys should look it up, because I believe there's like this huge success story behind it. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's this big one. It was guys working over the summer in college, and they decided to market it, and it's huge now. I forget what the numbers are. I swear I seen something on that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, check that out. There's a lot of those small ideas that people come up with that end up being big ventures.
Yeah. We're kind of, it's hard to decide sometimes between being the professional, we've been doing it for a while, we know what we're doing, and then also the kid, help me out, we're trying to grow this business. And you got to play one or the other. You can't play both sides.
Well, you don't even have to play the word, the kid, help me out and growing the business. You just have to play it from hey, look, I'm a kid, I'm 17 and I'm a professional doing this.
Right. Okay.
You have to let people know that it's not... You're not a 45-year-old dude doing this on the weekends. Look, we are young. We're learning. We're growing. Let us earn your business. It's just because it's just a niche. How many 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds are starting a window cleaning business instead of getting a part-time job? I've told so many of my students at the school, different kids, different teens and stuff. Like, hey, you could make like, okay, you're going to go work here. Best you're probably going to make locally part-time somewhere $400 or $500 a week at a job. Well, you could easily make that in a 10th of the time working for yourself if you just had a little bit of brains behind it. Make a flyer, make a business card, put some stuff up on your social, whether it's mowing lawns, shoveling driveways. My kids are already bugging me. They're like, hey, can we shovel driveways this summer or this winter? And I'm like, yeah, because they mowed the lawn for the first time last week. Ben and Jocelyn are 9 and 11, and she'll be 10 soon. And they're like, hey, can we mow lawns? I'm like, well, let's practice a little more on ours. Let's get some ideas together. I said, maybe this winter we'll build you out a little trailer so you guys can drive around to the neighbors. I said, and I'll help you guys with it. We'll come up with a plan. Dad will front you for, the flyers and some of this stuff. Yeah. I want to make sure they're financially accountable for it too. Mm-hmm. And like, they'll have to pay a percentage. I said, but you guys want to shovel snow over the winter. I said, then we need to, before weather gets bad, make up a flyer. You guys need to come up with a pitch, and I'll drive you around to all the neighbors, and we'll come up with something. I have no problem doing that. Yeah. But you have to honor it. But I told them, I was like, you guys can make way more money doing that stuff. And I've talked to so many teens about that. So playing hey, instead of doing stupid stuff like a lot of our teens do, and a lot of our friends at school and stuff like that, be like, hey, look, we're doing this. Yeah. You don't have to do it from hey, we're young, help us grow our business. I hate that crap. And to be honest, if you guys put something like that up, nobody shares it. Like your dumbasses share it. Your people are like, oh, look at that. Oh, it's Bobby's grandson. But actual people that are going to respect you aren't going to respect that. They're going to see that and be like, oh, come on, guys, be more creative. Right, yeah. Be more creative. But play into the fact you guys are younger, though, that it's you guys going out doing it. You're not playing on TikTok and just sitting around doing video games all day. You guys are actually out there hustling. Yeah. Okay, yeah. When I said that, I didn't mean like posting an ad where it would be like that. I know what you meant, but that's kind of where people would, hey, we're young, help us. Like, that's the thought. But no, just kind of play into it, because you guys you're detailed. You did a great job on my place. Like, but use the fact you're young. Yeah. I used to tell people all the time, I'd go out. I started the Taekwondo school. I was 28, and I'd be out. Everybody, a lot of people still had their first job. Maybe like, what do you? I own my own business. Oh yeah. And I tell them, no, full time I work owning my own business, and it would really shock people. But there were a lot of older people that would see that and be like, oh cool, let me help you out. Let me use you for this, or can I I got some friends I want to send over. Or there was a guy that had a multi-million-dollar business that was like, hey, let's go to lunch sometime and talk. Let me give you some advice. Broke some things down for me. We went to Waffle House and talked. And what's really wild is the stuff he told me to do back then is stuff I ended up doing years later that made a huge difference in the business. But I didn't understand it enough back then. But it was great tips and things. So, play into that. Let people know you're younger. You guys are out there hustling. You're working at it. Yeah. So how can people find you if they want to schedule or set something up with you guys? You can find us on our Facebook. It's called Peak Shine Window Washing. You could call me or text me for a free quote at 636-290-3588. Or you can email us at peakshineww@gmail.com. And any way that you contact us, we'll come out, give you a free quote, and we can set up a time. That's awesome. How long, before we wrap up, how long have you had this like officially going? Officially, it's been an LLC for a little over 3 months. Yeah, but how long have you officially been cleaning windows? Like a year. Yeah? Yeah, cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. I think it would probably be a year in October. Okay. Yeah. And then you just switched over to the commercial around the time you started doing mine, right? Yes, yep. Yeah. We were told it's very important for businesses that we would have an LLC and be insurance. Yeah. So we made sure to get that. You guys are cleaning windows, not like you're swinging fans, but yeah, no, for sure. So that's awesome. So, hey guys, take a minute, check them out, and give them a shout. Give them a chance. They're young guys out here hustling, growing their business, and trying to do something other than what we see a lot of the youth today doing, and that's just crying on social media. These guys are out there getting after it, working hard. Give them a shout out, give them some work, and you won't regret it. They do a great job on mine.